Welcome to Focus on Liberia. Welcome and welcome to yet another edition of our broadcast here, Focus on Liberia. Another special edition of the Hour of Politics. And as always, Ansony Sieh hosting. Welcome and welcome to the broadcast. And what do we have? What do we have and what do we have? And you might be wondering. Today, we will be talking about the military hospital and the Ballet Island. Where are we with these much talked about projects or promises made by the Liberian government? This is what we're going to talk about, and I will ask you to stay with us for an hour. Of course, this is the Hour of Politics, and so we will be here for an hour to look at these two projects. We have been told one is completed, and we also been told there's effort being made on the other one. We have all the images to show you and also to explain to you where we are and do our little commentary and analysis, and also bring in your comments and as well find time to take your phone calls. And so welcome to the broadcast here at Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. And so let us get started. But as you know, before we do, we will have to do this.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Ansony Sieh, as always, sitting in for our program, the Hour of Politics. Let's get to it. And like I said earlier, we are looking at the military hospital and the Ballet Island, and we're asking a question: where are we? To get into this discussion, for the military hospital, we will be assessing the completed military hospital, and we will also talk about the Ballet Island project that was announced, and we understand our government is making all the efforts concerning the Ballet Island. So let's get started right away here, folks. So the military hospital is one of the first projects that was initiated and also announced by our current government, the Pro government headed by President George Manawia. This project is being talked about so much that almost everybody in Liberia knows about this project. And very recently, about a week ago now, we were told by the government that the project is completed. And so there was a dedication ceremony that was held, and the president was in attendance to dedicate this much talk about military hospital. We've been told, how this much good this military hospital has been able to do for our country. Military hospital was built by the government mainly for the military, but we also got to know top government officials have been taken to that hospital in trying to provide care and also to boost the healthcare sector in our country. And so we are here at Focus on Liberia to assess this project. It's been talked about so much. And this government now is clocking 4 years. And this is the number one project that has been completed, and we saw excitement and celebration on the part of those who support the government. And so you see the military hospital, that is the building right there. Let's tell our staff to show it. There it is. But let's talk about it and let us assess, this project, the fact that it's being completed. And we see this is one of the first images that we have on the screen there for you. In that image, as you are looking at, so this is our military hospital. Is this actually a hospital? In your opinion, does it actually reach the status of a hospital? Looking at this image, folks, the way it's been talked about, does it actually represent what is supposed to be a military hospital in our country? I don't know what we've been told, how much been spent on this project. And we're also wondering why it has to take this long to build a much talk about military hospital. And today we see that it is completed. There's reason to say, okay, the government said it was going to build this and the delay, and yeah, it is. So we are assessing it. We can also say, well, congratulations to the government, just as others congratulated the government for the completion of the Dole community, I think 1 mile road or 1.2 mile road. I don't know the exact length of it, but it was completed. Again, that is a completed project here, the military hospital. So we are saying congratulations to the Liberian government for building for our military and maybe all citizens for that matter, a military hospital. At long last, we got one. So we want to know, is this befitting of a military hospital? Is it this even a hospital? Or is it just a clinic? Do we have all that are needed for us to reach the status of a hospital? But we will be placing more emphasis on the physical structure itself. So right now, the image you're seeing here, I'm looking at it, I don't know if you can see it. I see water in the yard. You see where the grass is? I see water right there. So that water is a still water. It's just right there. It's not moving. And this hospital is completed. But we have water in the very yard with the grass right there. Is that our military hospital? Do we have some health experts here to tell us if you have a water sitting in front of the building, for this long, for some time, what could be some potential, health risks to this kind of issue? But again, this is the military hospital. It's being completed. And this is one of the images there for you to see. And folks are congratulating the government, rightfully so. Now we have another image of the military hospital, as you can see. And again, we are saying congratulations to the government. The military serving our country, there must be a hospital where they can go, right? But we are assessing it. In this other image right there, now this is the yard of the military hospital. Further down there, you see a trash can sitting right there. Now, before that trash can, you see the floor of the yard. Now, what you see there is mold. That green spot, that mold grew right there in the yard of the military hospital. Is it supposed to be that way? Is this a completed hospital that is ready as a facility for saving lives? But look at the yard. There's more in the yard. That whole area is green and infested with mold. And yet, it was dedicated as a completed hospital. Hospital is supposed to be the place that is clean. that does not pose any health risks to anybody least to talk about the patients in our area. But look at the facility, look at the yard. And they have this more in the yard, and this military hospital was pronounced completed, and it was dedicated for the military to be able to access for care. And so again, as you can see, this is the yard. We have the mole right there piled up right by the wall. It's that high it's supposed to be. And for some of us who are blessed enough to be in some part of the world, especially the United States, where I don't remember going to a health facility and in the yard you see more all piled up in the yard of that particular health facility. I think this needs the attention of the authority of this particular hospital. It should not be this way, that more will pile up in the yard of a military hospital, a facility that was built and intended to provide care. That facility should be clean at any time, and we should not have this yet. This is one of the things we just discovered in the yard of our completed military hospital. Now, another image here, I don't know if you see this very clearly. This is, that this was during the dedication ceremony. I see some people dressed in white. That might be the nurses. You see some of the military guys there. Look in the yard. Is this satisfactory for you? Does the yard look completed in your opinion? There's a driveway there. I see a car and see some people, and I see some things there lying there in the yard. I don't know, pieces of bricks and all that. So this is the military hospital. We've been told it is completed, but again, we are assessing the completed project to be able to tell whether or not this job was done, completed, and perfect, befitting of what should be a military hospital. Let me progress. Again, this is the driveway leading to the military hospital. We see a vehicle right there on the driveway. Now, what I don't see in this particular driveway, I don't see the driveway being marked. Usually, in any driveway, you see a line in the middle separating ongoing traffic and traffic that's coming from the opposite direction, so that when two cars are driving on that road, they will stay in their lane. Was that an oversight at that particular military hospital driveway? There should be a line separating the lane going to and the lane coming from the hospital. It said that they forgot that, because we were told this is completed, so that when somebody is driving to the hospital, they will stay in their lane. And so that somebody is driving also from the hospital, they will stay in the lane. We are talking about safety here. Why did he include that in this completed hospital? What stopped the government from doing that? Just find paint and people who know how to do it, let them draw a line in the middle, so that when somebody is driving to and somebody is driving from, they will stay in their lane. Is a security measure. But right now, the way it is, that is a hazard that needs to be taken care of. Again, we are assessing the completed military hospital, for which our government, ought to believe, deserves some credit. This is another image, some portion of the yard also. And if you look there, like the previous image we did show you, I also see some more in the yard. The yard is not clean enough, but hey, this is the completed military hospital. We thought to bring you some of these images so you can see what has been done so far. Again, another image of the much talked about military hospital. So this is the building, right? This is our military hospital. And this is the one for which a lot of money was being spent. And it took our government 3 years. And after 3 years, it's been dedicated. And this is all we see. This is 3 years of work and money being spent on this particular structure. And this is our military hospital. Let me progress here. Again, this is another image of the military hospital, looking at it from a different angle. And again, you see the yard. I see the grass there. I don't know whether we are in the dry season state in Liberia, because I don't see the grass green enough. And this is what I see. Look at this building. You know, I mean, it's a, I don't know how to really put it. I mean, you look at it, folks. This is a military hospital for the Liberian military, the AFL, the Armed Forces of Liberia. They say this hospital is for them. If you compare the military hospital to other military hospitals around the world, some people might say, well, it's Liberia, we are a poor country, so at least we got something. It is you to decide. All we are doing here is assessing and showing you images of the hospital, so that you as a citizen, so that you as a viewer will get the opportunity to see this much talk about military hospital. And the way they talk about, I know there are so many ways people have imagined it, that it was be this elegant, beautiful infrastructure, befitting the country and also the military that serves our country honorably. But as you see in this structure, it reminds me about the little clinics you used to see in some villages, in some towns, in some remote counties. This is what it reminds me of. I went to school in the Catholic school system, and in my hometown of Sastan, we had a little clinic where they had the Catholic nurses. When I see this building, this is what it reminds me of. And those were built by, the Catholic Church. And, I mean, they only could cater to very few people, because most of them were built in remote areas, in the counties and all that. This is what I see. This is a military hospital built within the heart of the city, Monrovia, the odious capital city within West Africa. And this is its military hospital. And again, others are saying the government must be congratulated. The government made a promise it's going to do it, and the government did it. But yet it is, and the question I continue to ask, is this befitting of a military hospital? The way it was being talked about, if you see the image, if you see the structure, are you satisfied? Are you okay with it? Well, let us make progress. Also, folks, this is the main entrance of the military hospital. I mean, look at it, right? Oh, yeah. So we have our military hospital, long last completed. And again, I want to remind you, this is the military hospital. You see one of our military personnel standing there in the hallway. I mean, it's just the front, and this is a sitting place for people to wait. Oh, my God. And it took our government 3 years to get this project completed. All right, folks, we again are assessing, and this is the other thing I want you to know about. So the hospital is called the military hospital, and this hospital was built for the military, and it is called 14 Military Hospital. But one interesting thing that we found, that got me thinking, but what's going on here? So 14 Military Hospital. And then it was built for the military. One thing I asked is, okay, so since this was built for the military, why couldn't it be named in honor of the military in the first place? Or why it couldn't be named in one of the AFL personnel or the military personnel who, have served the military honorably? Somebody who served the military with distinction. Couldn't that military hospital be named in that person's honor? But what we saw and know now, and which is a fact, is that the military hospital is being named in honor of the president number 14 jersey. And they just put a military there. 14 Military Hospital. The last time I checked, the president did not serve the military. His ID was not, the ID number in the military was not 14. That 14 actually is the jersey that President Weah wore when he played football. And he's building a hospital intended for the military. And I would also want to put it maybe in honor of the military. But he put his football jersey on it, a football jersey number on it. 14 military hospital. Now, as though that is not enough, even the emergency room of the hospital, they will not even need the emergency room of the hospital in honor of anybody who served the military with distinction and excellence. There are many Liberians who serve the military, some dead and some still alive. Cooling this government, even for Christ's sake, name the emergency room of the hospital in honor of somebody we may have served the military honorably? No, they will not. The emergency room in the 14 military hospital need a stay 14 emergency room. That's why you see it right there. 14 ER emergency. The question I'm asking is why? Why does everything has to be 14 now? If this was meant for the military to recognize them for their contribution to the country, for their service to the country, I would have thought it could either carry the name of the AFA hospital, something like that. But I don't get to decide. But I'm doing an analysis here. And the emergency room too will carry 14 emergency room. I mean, it said that they are other ideas. Everything must be 14. Seriously? Hey, some people will say it's a beautiful infrastructure, but there you have it. I would have loved for this emergency room, at least saying you will not need the entire hospital in honor of the AFL or anybody who might have served with distinction. You have at least need the emergency room in honor of somebody who may have served the AFL. Maybe a Yakbawuro who may have served the military as a corporal of the county honorably. Maybe it could have been Yakbawuro emergency room. Or maybe a Nambe who may have served the military with honor. Nambe emergency room at the military hospital. Or a Sieh, maybe you can put my name there. I'm just kidding. I'm talking about honoring somebody, recognizing somebody who served the military with distinction to motivate personnel of the military. That when they serve well, with excellence and brilliance, one day they will be recognized. Their service to the country will be recognized by the country and its leadership. I will have to leave it there, folks. So this is the entire structure and the whole year. Is this the military hospital we've been hearing about? And again, it was promised. It is done. We have no reason to not say congratulations. But this is it. This is it. Is this why? Is this what we've been hearing about? All the noise, all the time. But yet, the military hospital is completed. And this is the whole view of the entire thing. And may I end on this note on the military hospital. 14 emergency rooms. So maybe we can give you now the blessing that every room should be 14. Even the doctor should be 14. Everything in there should be 14. Because if it is military hospital, 14 military hospital, 14 emergency room, just continue down the list and put 14 on everything. So, folks, let's come to another subject here quickly. We told you we're going to be discussing the Ballet Island. So we are asking the question, where are we on the Ballet Island? The Ballet Island was talked about also. It was one of the promises made by our government. So we're going to talk about the Ballet Island. We're going to talk about the Ballet Island. So here we are. President, we are also make another promise that the Bali Island was going to be looked into. They were going to build a convention center, and that convention center was going to be named in honor of Muhammad Gandhi, and that it's supposed to be constructed on the Ballet Island, folks. And the fact here is, it was on December 17, 2018, President Weah, he signed the Ballet Island Act into law. So it is law, it is legal, it is constitutional that that Ballet Island must be built. There was an act passed by the national legislature. It was voted upon that this Muhammad Gandhi Convention Center must be built at Ballet Island. Now, just as the coastal highway was signed into law, it was done in the middle of the night as a 4G speed. It was done. And at the time when the coastal highway was being talked about, there were many concerned Liberians who were like, where are you getting the money from? The government was trying to get the money from Ibomaf and Eton. We were told these were financial institutions that were willing to give the money to the country at a very minimal interest rate. And we needed the coastal highway. And so while people were raising concern about the solvencies of these, pronounced financial institutions, the government was saying, no, we have to get the money from anywhere because we need the roads. And they were right, and they are still right. We all are right. We need roads, but we have to do it with caution. But this is a government that was not willing to listen to any concerns being raised by Liberians at the time. I will come to this Ballet Island subject. Let me just contrast here. I'm doing an analysis. So they said, no, the government went with a 4G speed. The national legislature acted to the wishes and aspirations of the president, and they voted upon it unanimously. Oh, of course, they got their little thing, right? And so it became law that a coastal highway needed to be built, and I will have time to look at a coastal highway in another different broadcast. So it became law. But as we speak, that coastal highway is like dead upon arrival. They never got the money. Those institutions that they told us about actually were not solvent. Some of them, they were even researched, and some of them were not even in existence. They didn't have the capacity, financial capacity, to provide a particular funding that the government needed. Ibofma came, could not really do it. Eton was more like a fraud. And so even though it was made legal and constitutional that the coastal highway needed to be built with that $1 billion that the two financial institutions are supposed to put together, we have come to realize the whole coastal highway thing was a charade. It did not work, and that law was violated. And when the Minister of Finance had the opportunity to speak on it, he said, well, it just did not work. So that which became law was just trash, and they did not go through the reform means of getting rid of that particular law. I don't know the legal terms to use, but that's what happened. So fast forward to the Ballet Island. So similarly, the Ballet Island, when the president said that, look, this is something that from my youth days, I have ever wanted to see develop the Ballet Island. The president lived in Claratown. Ballet Island is right there, right? So according to him, he wanted to see this area develop. It's a beautiful place. It's like in the middle of the water right there. And people are saying, look, if you build a gigantic structure there, maybe purposely for tourism, but now in their calculation, they say the convention center will do it. And so our government went to work, and somehow we were told, and from what we've seen so far, they had conversation with the government of India to build a convention center on this much talk about Ballet Island. And the convention center was going to will be named in honor of Muhammad Gandhi, the great leader of India, who led a non-violent, protest against British rule, after which India got its independence. This is an iconic and historical figure in the history of India. And his name was brought into the picture. And that the government of India wanted to see this happen. And it was to the pleasure and the taste of the president. And they have to make it legal. December 17, 2018. We are in 2021. It's about 3 years now. There has not been any preliminary work being done on this Ballet Island. And so we are just hoping this will not suffer the same fate, a violation of the law, as was the case of the Coastal Highway. And that is why I brought that story. But hey, President, we are in 2018, visited the Ballet Island with a development partner, the Indian government, to build the Mahatma Gandhi Conference Hall in Liberia. So India, as a country, reached this agreement. That's what's been reported now, folks. And it's been 3 years now, there has been nothing. The purpose of the Ballet Island Act is to officially name a specific parcel of the island, Ballet Island, and a proposed convention center as the Mahatma Gandhi Convention Center. The conference hall will be a gift to Liberia by the government and people of India. So this is what we were told. And before I do my analysis, let me bring you another information. Mahatma Gandhi was an Indian lawyer, anti-colonial nationalist and political ethicist who implored nonviolent resistance to lead the successful campaign for India's independence from British rule. And I think I told you that earlier. So this thing here is at a whole different level. The government of India is involved. It was the wish of the president, we've been told and been reported here. And so it will pass into law because they wanted to see that they were doing the right thing or want to do the right thing. So they make it legal. Our lawmakers acted on it, they voted on it, the president affixed his signature that this thing must be built since 2018. And if we may check, since 2018, what are the things that have been done so far? 9th Street mansion for the president is completed. The condominiums of the president is completed. The president condominiums, they are completed. People are saying, yeah, there's some people say 49 units. I know of 14 units because this 14 number here even saw it on the hospital, the military hospital. 14 military, 14 emergency. So I'm sticking to 14 units being built for the president. The movie theater, it's all done. The music recording studio, it's all done. I can go on. For Kekon Church, it's all done. There are many others that have been done. Hey, don't get me started, but let me stick to the story. So let me show you this image. So this was when the president went on the assessment at the Ballet Island. And you see the image that this is the president who are more like, it's like a spirit has come on him with his hands on, praying to the almighty deity. At long last, this Ballet Island will be developed. This convention center will be built. This is a very hopeful president. The image shows that he actually, wants to see this thing happen. And you see his security right there, providing security. They have to ride on a boat. They have the safety vest on. They have to travel on the river to get to the island. 3 years later, even though they has been passed into law, nothing has happened. But 3 years later, we've seen what has happened for the president. So the question focused on Liberia is asking, folks, where are we on the Ballet Island? But the president, during the dedication of the 14th Military Hospital, he said he stayed hopeful. It will get done. We want it to get done. Let the government of India be able to live by the agreement. Now, we don't know the details, how they work this thing out, whether it was like, please do this, or hey, we're going to do this. I don't know what the arrangement was, but what we know for fact, A was packaged into law. It is legal and it must happen. That convention center must be built. Now, another thing we were told, not only will the convention center be built, they said there will be a way that placed. They will build a bridge that will link Ballet Island to Crown Hill. What a monumental, ambitious plan. And the question is, does our government have the ability to secure such a deal and bring it to fruition? Does it? And if it does, can we look in the past and see what are the things monumental, big, visionary, ambitious, bold that the government has done so far? Can you point at one? The biggest of all that I have ever heard about was this one should talk about coastal highway. And that coastal highway died a natural death. So, can we, should we believe, don't pass into law, this must talk about Ballet Island project and promise? Should we believe that? But let's make progress here, folks. So, you see the president there with his staff, providing national security, maximum security on the island, a swammy area. I don't know whether the necessary research and assessment were done by engineers. I'm not saying it can be done. Yes, it can be done, but it must be calculated. The necessary assessment by the professionals and the engineers who know how to build in a swamp should be done. And it will be cost intensive because of the location. I know Florida, well, the entire Florida, maybe not, I shouldn't say the entire Florida, but a greater percentage or portion of Florida is complete swamp. That place has been developed, but there is a warning to it. We know what happens when it rains in Florida. And so it can be done, but there's a lot that need to be put into place. Lots of money must be spent to build in the swamp. You need to do a lot. And the people who know it must be talked to. You can't just talk to Kamla co-engineer and you say you can get this done. So you see the swamp right there, the president, along with his security and others. Samuel Twe attended his the assessment when they went there as well. The first lady was there also. Can they get this done? Did they put much thought into this to get it done? And how come 3 years now, work has not started? And again, I will hasten to say, I hope this too will not suffer the same fate as the much talk about coastal highway that is now a fiasco, dead. And now you see our first lady. Oh, folks, isn't this some kind of a romantic movement here? If I can juice this thing up a little bit. Our president there and with the first lady, they are in their safety verse. On the other side of the first ladies, there is Samuel D. Twe, our talkative and loquacious finance minister. They were all in attendance in this swamp, trying to find a way that this much talk about Ballet Island Convention Center will be built. You see that, folks? President holding his jewel, right? I love that. And so they were there. And it was signed into law. And it's been a little 3 years gone now. Work is yet to get started. Will the Ballet Island Convention Center be built? Do we even have an agreement between the government of India and our country for this convention center? Can we get to know? Because if you want to build something or do an assessment, the assessment will include the cost, the timeline, and everything. Can we get that information? Maybe that information, exists, but we don't have it to our disposal yet. I focus on Liberia. What we are doing here is trying to get a status check on this much talk about Ballet Island Convention Center project, which not supposed to just be a convention center. The whole island pretty much supposed to be built, and there's supposed to be a bridge linking from that particular Ballet Island to Crown Hill. Oh, this is very imaginative. Somebody might use the word imaginary. So, folks, where are we? Can we ask that question? Have we done anything wrong to ask the question, folks? And so this was the time the president was putting his pen on an agreement, the act, creating the Ballet Island Development Project to include a convention center built in honor of Mahatma Gandhi. Where are we on the Ballet Island? Folks, we want to make sure that we hold them honest and we hold them accountable on the promises and the things they say to our people. You see our president, a very good looking picture there of the president signing the Ballet Island Act into law after the lawmakers have passed it in a 4G speed, just as they passed the Coastal Highway deal or act into a 4G speed. And I mean, let me put it at 5G, because right now we're dealing with 5G, right? And up to now, that Coastal Highway thing is dead, according to Mr. Samuel Twell. So there is another much to talk about development project that was signed into law by our legislature, and the president there using that big pen signing it into law. Will this not be yet another violation of the very law that he affixed his signature and that the lawmakers were made to sign into law or vote or to pass or ratify? Will or not? The phone lines are open. We want to hear from you. This is the hour of politics. We are here for just 1 hour. The phone lines are open, folks. The phone lines are open. The phone lines are open, folks. And we want to hear from you. What do you think of the military hospital that has been completed by our government? Is it befitting? And what do you make of the fact that even the emergency room is called 14 emergency room? What do you make of that? The phone number to call is right there in the screen, 605-313-6004. Enter the code 791403 #. We have 10 minutes for you to call and let us hear from you. Talk about the military hospital. What is your impression? What is your take? What do you feel? I mean, is it a good project? Is it well built? Does it represent the military? Does it represent the country? And the Ballet Island, do you think it will be done? The president made a promise that it will be done. Do you think it will be done? Call and let us hear from you. This is Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We really want to hear from you. Will this government accomplish this monumental or ambitious project that was signed into law by the president? We want to hear from you. Folks, the phone number is active and we really want to hear from you. So please call now. So while we wait for your calls, I'm going to be looking at some comments from our viewers here. Some people always take their time to write, which we certainly do appreciate. Those of you who always write your comments, that's one of the ways to participate As we speak, we don't have a caller here. Let me do something for you. Sometimes people don't know that we have the number in the scrolling text below. There where we have the number. But I'm going to put it on the screen. That way people can find it very easily. 605-313-6004. And the code you need to enter is 791-403#. And you will have the opportunity to comment, make your point on the military hospital that has been completed. And also, you can talk about the Ballet Island that I also talk about. So while we wait for callers, let me read some comments. Let me read some comments from our folks here, starting from the beginning. Again, the hour of politics is for 1 hour. You better call now. Marianne Roberts, let me leave that one talking to somebody, not responding to the issue. River says pro, do you at times question the opposition development projects? No, people don't question opposition development project. We didn't elect opposition. We elected a government, Mr. Man. We elected a government. It is a government that has a social contract with the people of the country, not opposition. The last time I checked, the opposition was rejected by the people that no, you can't represent us. We can't sign a deal with you to develop our country. No. So River says pro, no, never in any country have people ever asked opposition people for development project because opposition were never voted. The last time it was Air Liberia. Today is the military hospital in Ballet Island. Oh yeah, River says pro, you remember that? We talk about the Lone Star and the Wings of Liberia. What we're doing here, I focus on Liberia, is trying to look at status updates on these promises. You know, politics in Liberia nowadays, everybody, opposition versus government, opposition versus government. But the things that have been promised the Liberian people, you know, after they talk about them 1 or 2 times, they pass. They don't go back to check. And if we don't check on these people, they will just leave these things and follow the noise. That is what we are doing, because we want to see the right thing being done. Thank you, River says pro. Or Jefferson Coco, yourself said at the time that he should talk about the military hospital. Yes, someone is reminding him that you told me to talk about the military hospital, and the government completed a congratulations to the government. But we did an assessment with more oil in the year, 14 emergency room. I think everything else there will be 14. The government did it. You see, as we did show you the structure. We did show you the driveway and all that. What do you make of all that? So please, we want to hear from folks here. Let's hear from Wele Tumamble, because they are the ones in power and always boasting about what the Messiah is doing. That is true, and that is why we are talking about it. Let's hear from Emmanuel JJ. Does this guy know as to how long it takes for lawn to grow after a new construction? What I know, when you are doing the construction, you can be doing the more at the same, the lawn at the same time. I mean, it's not difficult to do. And, you know, the military hospital has been completed, so the yard, the grass should be also. I mean, the yard is filthy, man. I mean, you didn't see it with more growing all in the yard. That hospital isn't in Monrovia, my friend. Who told you the hospital is not in Monrovia? Well, it is. Tell us where that military hospital is. Well, if I got it right, then, but that hospital is in Monrovia. So tell us where it is. Well, Ansony again, one who does not know bad should not really be expected to do good. In my view, many of our people have not seen what some of us have seen, and so they will praise and appreciate anything. Yeah, that is correct. But our people deserve better. We are in the modern days. Let's hear from Blair again. In this modern world, you start growing long when the construction is going on. So when the project is completed, it coincided with everything as that person is saying that, yeah, that's the same thing I said, you know. You can do all 2 at the same time. You know, you don't have to wait. Marian Rabba or Tenguna, RRA, not 14 RRA. All right. Maybe that one was done before the president came in, so they can put the 14 on it. Looking for comments, that will. Let's hear from Burma Formula. This guy is just talking off his hair. You think Ballet Island is one day project? It's not one day project, but it got to take more than 3 years, my man. It didn't take more than 3 years for the president to complete all his personal project. So why whole government can complete a project in 3 years, man? And the government completed the military hospital in about almost 4 years now. So the Ballet Island, they can do it, brother. Stop that thing, man. All you people do and come and justify. Our people should wait for more than 3 years before they can get the Ballet Island project. And more mind, let me leave this one here. I don't know what this person is saying. Like, yeah, from Flomo. Thank you for refreshing our mind. I know most Liberians have forgotten about it. Yeah, some people have forgotten about it. Neither do they want to talk about it. They want to talk about Boaka and Cummings and all that. Security to hold him up before he sink in the swamp. I don't know what that means. Let me hear from Aliu V. Vamba. Do not spend much of your time responding to Pro. He is a blind loyalty, and there is nothing you can do to change that. Liberian people, every day they're accusing your friend of being then and being that. Just make your point. The man made his point. It's not about being blind loyalist. The man support his side at his side. What's about you? Who support your side? Are you a blind loyalist too for supporting your side? Aliyu, is that why it is? So everybody can be blind loyalists. Some people have chosen to support a side, like you supporting your side. The only guy I know who not supporting your side is Ansony Sieh, because my side is the Liberian people. And many of you been talking about, I'm leaning this place, Where were you before you started this leaning thing? I have been where I have been with Liberia and the masses. I will never lean anywhere. You leaning. So those of you who are leaning, whatever side you're leaning to, please tell us where you have been, where you're leaning from, and where you're leaning to, and why. Tell us. I thought you have been with Liberia and the Liberian people. So when you're leading, that means you're going to follow somebody. Is that what it is? Why don't you stand for your country and stand firm like many of us have tried to do with the masses? Leaning. I'm tired with your leaning thing because it's complete emptiness. Let me read Patrick's comment here. The hospital is named 14 Military Hospital. Therefore, the emergency department will be called the same as well. Great job by the government and president of Liberia, and this will be helpful to the military, the community, and the country. I strongly believe the Ballet Island will be done in the second term of President Weah. The guy said it'll be done in the second term. Aliyu, what are you going to say? The president naming everything after the number 14 proved that he's so full of egotism. Let me go to the phone numbers. These people are not ready for prime time. They won't want to call. Well, folks, I will then do a conclusion here. Maybe I can read a few most comment. Let me hear from Musa Magil. Thanks for bringing up these topics back to mind, as many of us have forgotten about these promises. That is true. People, River says Pro again, you put too much energy into criticizing everything the president does. I hope you have your own project back in Liberia. To confess to you, I have no project in Liberia. I have no project in Liberia. I was not elected to do project in Liberia. President Weah was elected, and all these projects we're talking about, he said he was going to do them. And my job is to keep the government honest and to keep everybody else in charge of anything that has to do with our government accountable, because I want it to be done by those people for the Liberian people so that our country can advance. That's why I told you, I'm not leaning anywhere. I have been where I have been with Liberia and the Liberian people, and for the Liberian people, I will advocate as always. So, yes, I will not stop holding people accountable. If you call that criticism, that's fair. That's how you see it. The government said we're going to do this. I'm saying, hey, you say you're going to do this. Where are we on it? That's the only question I'm asking. And out of a sudden, I am wasting my time. Thank God that my time, that is not your time. But thanks for coming. Let's hear from Mr. Wawul here. The funds were available. The source of the money was the problem. It was black money. Maybe you were talking, that person referring to the what you call the coastal highway. Let's hear from Walwool again. Joshua borrowed the funds intended for the island to build his own twin tower on 9th Street and his 49 apartment complex. Wow, he's throwing a charge there. Let's hear from Emmanuel again. Does this presenter know anything about construction project? I don't know anything about construction project. I know that we were told it was going to be done, and it has not been done. And that's what I'm asking. Where are we? That's what I'm doing. If you find problem with that, well, that's a piece of cornbread for you to eat. All right, folks. We don't see a call here. I don't know if somebody is calling our WhatsApp number here. Let me see. Hello there.
Hello.
Yeah. Who is this? Yeah, you want to talk on the show? Hello? Hello there. Caller, hello? All right. That caller seems not to be ready. Anyway, folks, this is how we will be drawing the curtains here. Let me wrap this thing up. And so, again, we brought you another edition of the Hour of Politics here, focused on Liberia. Today, we talk about the completed military hospital, as we were being told by the Liberian government. And actually, it was dedicated, so we decided to do an assessment of the project. And what we saw is that, yes, in their standard, it's completed. We went in the year, we see that the year is not, does not show that it's actually completed. We see more in the yard, the driveway. There's not a divider line in the middle to show the traffic that is coming and the traffic that is going, to provide a little safety buffer there. We don't see that. The yard is infested with mold. There's water, still water in the yard of this particular military hospital. The building itself, folks, if you look at it, it doesn't really satisfy my taste. This is the military hospital for, this is it. This is it. This is the thing we've been hearing about all the years, 2 years now. We've been hearing about this one military hospital. Yeah, it is. Now, as I was telling you, this is the yard. This is the driveway. There should be a line dividing ongoing and, the other traffic coming in the opposite direction, but we don't have. This is the yard. The grass is not green enough. I don't know. How long it's going to take them to make sure that they learn yet it's done perfectly for the grass to be green. Now the only green thing with I see, here's the yard there. You see the mold on the floor. You see that mold right there on the floor in the yard. This is not looking pretty, but this is the completed military hospital, folks. And for me to point this thing out, some people said I'm wasting my time. If somebody does not bring this thing to the attention of the government, hey, you said the hospital is completed, but look at it, yeah, there's more growing. This place should be a place where people go, to get cured. It should not be a breeding ground for illness and diseases of all sorts. Now, in the other image here, if you can see it perfectly, there is water, still water right here in this area, right here. There's water here, right here. I don't know why should it be that way. Maybe a proper job was not done. The ground is not level enough. So you see water, kind of settle in the yard, and it should not be done that way. And also we talk about the Ballet Island. The Ballet Island, the government said we're going to build a convention center in honor of Mahatma Gandhi of India, and it was signed into law. And this act was signed into law since December of 2018. This is 2021. It's been 3 years now. There has not been any work being started for the construction and the completion of the Ballet Island. And so we are asking, where are we on that project? Will it ever come to fruition? Will this project not suffer the same fate they much talk about coastal highway suffer? The coastal highway, like the Ballet Island, was signed into law. The lawmakers voted on it. In fact, at the time the noise was being made, the justice minister said even if the money will come from the devil, we'll take it. But they could not find the money from the devil. So we're just curious here. Where are we on the Ballet Island? Folks, as always, focus on Liberia is about educating, elevating, and promoting all things Liberia. This is how we will come to the end of yet another broadcast here at Focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We want to remind you this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Focus on Liberia will be having its 4th year anniversary broadcast. We are having our 4th anniversary here at Focus on Liberia. It will start at 6 p.m. Eastern Time to 6 p.m. Eastern Time to 7:30 Eastern Time. You do not want to mix it. We want you to come and tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and what are your suggestions. Maybe you can come to, if you want to be a staff here at Focus on Liberia, whichever way you want to be part of what we do, and you want to encourage us to do it and continue to do it, we will also appreciate that. If you have a contribution to also make, we will also appreciate that. Again, 6 p.m. Sunday here at Focus on Liberia, our independence celebration, not independent, our anniversary celebration will be going on here. We want you to be a part of that. Today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, the literary hour with Jackie Sieh and Professor K. Mose Nambe will be on. They are having a guest today, Patrice Joa, who wrote a book on the scars of Duko. You do not want to miss this particular broadcast at 6 p.m. today. Here at Focus on Liberia, we have programming. We got this thing down, folks. Well, the song that always closing us here is called We Are All Liberians. Whether or not you think we here at Focus on Liberia should not be asking the question, where are we on the Ballet Island? Whether or not you disagree that, the more in a year of the military hospital is nothing, and all the things we pointed out, you disagree with them and you are celebrating the president, we say you are still a Liberians and we are all Liberians. On that note, until we catch you again, maybe this evening during our literary hour, I'm Ansony Sieh on behalf of the Focus on Liberia family saying bye-bye and we love you.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our